Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Airy Sky Readalese video blog. I'm Airy Sky. Today we're going to be talking about the second stimulus update for 7/13/2020. Now, there's a couple notices that I want to share with you that I just pulled up. One was $1,200 stimuluses might be less. Now, Mitch McConnell stated that he's going to, quote unquote, make a bill that's $1 trillion. The White House is on board with it. $40,000 is the earned income bracket. Anything higher than $40,000, you ain't getting diddly poop. Frankly, what they're doing is they're waiting for the jobs numbers. Now, a lot of people said, what is the key dates? Well, when they go back to work on July 20th, which is a week from today, they will personally have 15 business days, 3 weeks, or 3 work weeks, to pass the second stimulus. Now, the problem is there's too many people already saying, confirmed, we're going to get a second stimulus. They're confirming that there's going to be another package. They're not confirming that they're going to give money to every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the country. They said 40,000 or less. So a lot of people out there saying, well, I need the money because I'm poor. They don't care. They don't care if you're on SSI. They don't care if you're on disability insurance. They don't care if you're on survivors, retirement, veterans, or railroad. They're doing it for the hardworking Americans. Now, if they can't get anything done, right, more likely they won't. You see, Pelosi already said she needs at least $3 trillion. They don't get $3 trillion. The Senate bill is dead on arrival. So, what happens? Then everyone goes out until September 7th. Then they try taking it again. Then they take it from September 8th to September 25th. They can't hammer something out. Then they take a break, and then they come back and try to October 9th. After October 9th, well, it's too late. Everyone's going to be seeing themselves lose severely. Now, a lot of people said, well, how much are we going to get? Well, like I said, they're not talking. Now, some people are saying we're going to get anyone who's under $40,000 is going to get less because it's only $1 trillion. Now, let's talk about the $3 trillion plus package Pelosi passed May. Basically, it gives $10,000 a person for hazard pay. To the Senate and the Republicans ain't going to fly. It gives $1,200 for non-U.S. citizens. They're saying Americans first. Then they're offering $12,000 for a household of 5. That's $6,000. That ain't going to fly. So Mitch McConnell vowed the HEROES Act is dead in the Senate. So where's that lead us? Well, so then there's other options that they've proposed. One was by Kamala Harris for $2,000 monthly payments through the end of the pandemic and for 3 months after the pandemic. That's like $14 to $25 trillion for all Americans. It ain't going to happen. Now, there was $2,000 a month for 12 months proposed by Representative Ro Khanna. Fortunately, that ain't going to happen. Only you people said, well, the government owes us because of China. China owes us, not the freaking government. The government doesn't need to bail your ass out. Next one, they proposed a $4,000 temporary travel tax credit for the next 3 years. So that'd be like $8,000 for married couples per year, which means you got to spend double that. So if you're married, and for 3 years, that's $48,000 you got to do in tax credits. That's 50 cents to the dollar. It doesn't work. Vice President Pence proposed a payroll tax cut that will allow workers to keep more in their paychecks, but that ain't going to help. So, basically, what are they proposing? Well, they're proposing less than $1,200. And I know a lot of people say, well, if we're not getting more than $1,200 because on SSI, vote them out. They don't care. They don't really flat care. You see, there's a couple of problems here when it comes to the second stimulus. And that is, one, there's too many people posting, guaranteed you're all going to get money. It isn't guaranteed. It's a maybe. When Stephen Mnuchin the other day went on TV, said the hardworking Americans will come first. Hardworking Americans, not the non-hardworking Americans. You know. And because they're still waiting on the jobs numbers, that's why they're not basically taking it up. They're waiting until they find out if unemployment went down. If unemployment went down, they're not going to give a second stimulus. Secondly, they think the economy is floating nicely, and frankly, that's why if they're going to do anything, it's $1 trillion. Fortunately, in my opinion, you need more than $1 trillion. So, they're going to probably offer less than $1,200. Hell, they could offer you less. They could give you $600 or even $300. Or, just to be a complete butthole, they could sit there and say, anyone under 40,000 will get, say, $5,000, and anyone on SSI and the rest of those programs, $100. I mean, we don't know what's in the package. They haven't sat down and hammered it out, so you can't sit there and be guaranteed it. So if you click on a video link and you see someone say, guaranteed second stimulus for SSDI, wrong. It's not guaranteed because it's not on paper yet. So you just clickbaited me. I'm giving you the exact skinny. The skinny is, we're in a timed area, but I don't think the Democrats are going to budge. They're going to use this to win over the Senate if they can, because they're going to sit there and say, see, we offered $3 trillion, and Mitch McConnell's cronies only gave $1 trillion, and we need this and that, and that, and that, and that. And guess what? The Democrats are going to sit there and basically cha-ching, cha-ching, and next thing you know, we're all screwed, you know. So California, just the breaking news, has shut down everything yet again. You hear that, Chloe?
Oh my.
California went to phase 1. Florida, they're basically duking it out. Same with Texas. You see? You open up early. This is why a second stimulus needs to be made of $3 trillion plus. But nope. You see, the Democrats are going to sit there and say, see, the Republicans opened up early and it's all the Republicans' fault, blah, blah, blah. We're going to see, maybe, if they don't get their $3 trillion, they're going to see the country voting blue, because the people know if the state of California shut down completely again because of the spike, it tells you right there, stimulus checks needed. But these Republicans, they're waiting to see what's happening. And that is why the American people are doing what they're doing. They're watching. They're begging for a second stimulus. There's people that say, please, sir, reinstate the unemployment for another 6 months. These Republicans want to get everyone back to work, but let's just say, I don't know the numbers in California. Moderator Pee Wee would know, but here's the thing. California shut down. It's a matter of time. I heard Georgia did the same too. I'd have to ask some of my people in Georgia about it. But what's that tell you? It tells me that the virus wasn't contained. They opened up prematurely. And now, with 4 months to go, I'm not saying this is a political thing, but look how it's going to play out. The Democrats are going to be basically saying, look, if you don't give in to what's needed, you're killing Americans. You're killing Americans. You're making them sick, because You didn't listen. And now you want to blame us, the blue people, the Democrats, for basically knowing what's right for the country. The Republicans think this is a hand-me-out benefit thing for the blues. No, it isn't. It's basically common sense right now. But if the Republicans don't give in to the Dems' demands, and the Dems don't give in to liability or whatever, you're going to see a complete giant stalemate, and no one's going to see a stimulus check. And then you're going to be basically belly aching to me, being like, we didn't get a stimulus check. And Chloe and I are going to sit there and say, well, we told you so. Look around. The government doesn't owe you. Right now, they're watching their P's and Q's. This just came out today that 30 states have decided, or 30 counties or whatever in California is shutting down. Tells you right there all you need to know. The news is bad. And you turn around and you say, I guarantee we're getting one. No, it's not a guarantee until it's both agreed in the House and the Senate. So I don't want to see people making videos saying, I guarantee we're going to get money. No, we're not. For all I guarantee is the government can turn around with the Republicans and say, screw it, let the states go bankrupt. Then what? Unemployment fail. Jobs fail. Food stamp fail. State agencies fail. The entire freaking infrastructure collapses because people just... I mean, does anyone know what's going on? The virus is spiking. The virus is spiking to the point that we had to cancel you know, I mean, look, everyone wants to make masks. Like, here's our breaking news, Chloe. Pandemic could push 130 million people into poverty and hunger.
Yeah. I already knew that. I kind of suspected what was going to happen from the beginning.
What?
That, all this stuff. Pandemic, poverty, you name it.
Here's another breaking news for people that think that a pandemic should equal benefits, an extra stimulus check for the SSI people that didn't. They're like, oh, you don't want SSI, I can't afford food. You know what the people in this state's doing with their SSI checks? They're turning around. They're buying freaking junk, anything they want, and then going to the landlord and going, they can't pay my rent, I gotta buy more food. Meanwhile, they're living on hot dogs while buying whatever they want. Then they want a second stimulus. Then they go to agencies who are stripped thin of cash to ask for help because they can't pay their bills. What type of people are there?
What type of people I want to know?
I mean, look. 90% of Miami-Dade's Florida hospitals are basically full to capacity. That means we got to do something. Miami needs to shut down. The entire city of Florida needs to go back to phase 1. And that is why I say until, like here, Georgia. See, look, the United States did not shut down entirely, and now the country's seeing surging cases, Dr. Anthony Fauci has said. You see, if they shut down the government completely, we would not be talking. We would all be, the stimulus checks would be coming in. People would be getting their $2,000 plus. But no, The government wants to sit there and blame it on corporate greed to say, oh yeah, well, we can't afford to lose our company, so we need you guys to get them to go back to work. And this is what freaking happens. We are in a massive, massive pandemic. If they shut down the government instead of reopening, everyone knows that the government did it. And people say, well, thing is the American people need to realize that the state had guidelines. Those guidelines were broken. Republicans and Democrats alike decided they wanted to go out, get drunk, get partying, do this, do that, and guess what? The virus has spiked. And now, you people that ran out to go get drunk and everything else turns around and says, I need a $2,000 month stimulus. I gotta live comfortably. No, you don't. The government doesn't owe you jack diddly poop. Everything is revolving around your next greed check so you can go spend it foolishly. I've said this many times over. Prepare for the government to shut down, this time for longer. So if you're on vacation, enjoy it. If you're not on vacation, think about a vacation. Think about who you're voting for in the next election. You want to blame the CDC and stuff for the guidelines to be put in place, or do you want to blame people who, quote unquote, don't even want to wear a mask? They say the president doesn't have to. We don't have to. And now the virus is spiking everywhere.
Trying to get us out of the pandemic. They want to blame them.
They want to blame everyone, as Chloe said, everyone who's trying to protect us and keep this government safe.
I'm trying to...
See, look, Mitch McConnell just said, Chloe, I'm a turtle, Mr. Turtle. The coronavirus is not involved in American politics. Right.
Well, technically, it has to be right now. People are dying. It has to be in politics.
I mean, look, they're not talking about it, but you know what? It's true. The American people need to realize that they need to realize if you want a stimulus check, a monthly stimulus check, common sense says the government has to shut down completely. They won't. They'd rather kill off the American people and thin out the people than they would do getting off their ass to basically cut a check for $2,000 a month till the virus is done or until there's a cure. Hell, what other countries are getting monthly stimulus checks, we're getting stimulus updates, you know. And now the press secretary Barbie is saying the CDC is supposedly is lying. I'm sorry to say the CDC isn't lying. Right here, Dr. Anthony Fauci just said, we're not out of this yet. This is only the beginning. Yeah. See, people keep attacking the CDC and Anthony Fauci for doing their job. Then these people should be voted out of office because, look, Chloe, more than 282,000 cases of coronavirus have been recorded in Florida to date.
Oh my goodness.
You see? Shut Florida down. Look, New Mexico closes all indoor restaurants. You see? This is why you all need to know why you guys need a, oh yeah, and now the president wants more stimulus money for schools to open. I'm sorry, but I would not send my kid to school even with a pandemic if I had kids. I mean, look, you want to sit there and bellyache about, oh yeah, you know what? The states control the school. The federal government can issue things, but if they don't have guidelines to protect guidelines protect the students to go back to school, then states should shut down. So, if you go to New York to visit right now, you're into mandatory quarantine if you land. So, that means they're going to force you to spend 2 weeks in a hotel, you know. But other states aren't doing it, so that's the real problem. Other states, like Washington State, they're trying to push it. You come to visit here, 2 weeks, mandatory. I mean, we are in a pandemic of massive proportions, and yet you all. So the California governor orders closures of bars and indoor dining and restaurants. Dining restaurants, bars, brew pubs, brewery pubs ordered to close indoor and outdoor operations. Wineries, tasting room, movie theaters, zoos and museums, and card rooms. Monday reported 8358 new cases and 23 new deaths. You see this? So now Miami is the epicenter. Look, you're sitting on a freaking the government. Fauci said it best himself. We're basically sitting on a ticking time bomb when it comes to stuff, and because of it, look what happened. The American people get to suffer now in Miami and the rest of the world. I say lock down the states, lock down the country, and then big businesses will beg for better guidelines. When big businesses don't have better guidelines and they're basically checking everyone's ear temperature to go into the mall or restaurants or stores, then you know damn good and well you're in the wrong business. Plain and simple. It doesn't do enough. Masks don't do enough. A lot of people don't want to wear masks, so look what happens. That's all I gotta say. I mean, look, you guys want to sit here and debate. You're going to get a stimulus check. The words maybe. Maybe is only maybe until you guys realize and get your head out of your butt until there's something on concrete. They might not give anything. Look, here's how I see how stimulus checks are going to work, okay, in my opinion. If the government gets bad enough, which they're not even trying anymore. They're just letting this country collapse. I mean, look, if you cut out in California, in Florida, and other states, close up outdoor dining and indoor dining, so that's fine. No one cares that people are eating or drinking, there. That just says, well, you can't go partying. What happens? People turn around, buy their booze at the stores, booze runs out again, and then you're back to square one. And then what happens then? If you go into phase 1 in states because it's spiking and no one's listening, I mean, the numbers are going through the roof. I mean, literally. The only way you're going to get $2,000 a month is if they freaking shut down the government. Literally. Otherwise, they're not going to offer anything. I mean, currently, for what I've read from 13 hours, okay, almost 13 and a half hours into this day, 61,000 people. With Florida rising like crazy. New York's, has the most deaths, but Florida is climbing. I mean, look at the numbers. Over 137,000 dead. Actually, nope, sorry. Correct me now. 138,000 dead. We just climbed in the So currently the death toll today is approximately 306, and we're almost at 50,000. Yesterday it went down. Yesterday, it went down. You see what's going on? American people need to realize that what we got on our hands is selfish, greedy, son of a bitch people that don't want to listen, and they're gonna then because they're getting sick and everything, and their medical bills are going high, and people say, well, you shouldn't have partied, and they're like, but I need to party because I don't like being stuck indoors. You don't see me and Chloe belly aching. The only thing me and Chloe belly ache is about tricycles and bikes. I asked her, I want to ride my trike. She says, sure. In this pandemic, sure. Plain and simple. So, I know this video has gone a little longer than usual, but I'm talking to you for a minute about what can and can't be done. If you're going to live and you want $2,000 a month, they're going to have to shut down everything. That's the only way they're going to give $2,000 a month. Otherwise, quit living in a fantasy world. The government doesn't owe you. The reason that government's trying to keep big businesses open, because they don't want to pay $2,000 a month. Because they think if someone got $2,000 a month, then the U.S. dollar deflates to a point where it's worthless. Meanwhile, you guys are sitting coming going, oh yeah, I'm comfortable. I got $2,000 a month. My son's got $2,000 a month. My 6 kids got $2,000 a month. Hallelujah! I got Christmas for all of them. Meanwhile, there's people out there that are complaining they only get $2,000 a month, or a married couple that doesn't have kids anymore, $4,000. Guess what? It's not fair. Senate knows it, so they're like trying to get you all back to work. The only way the Senate is going to basically, literally, how I see it, to give everyone $1,200 is they're going to redo, they might do the HEROES Act, redo it. And when they do, they're going to make it so illegals don't get a dime. $10,000 hazard pay is out. Liability, and that a household might get $1,200. If they gave a household, okay, here's the thing. If a household in this country makes married couple makes $150,000, they should be entitled to $1,200, not $2,400. If they have kids, $500 is a fish and hell $250 because it's a child. Instead, you guys try to suck up every dime that isn't there just because you guys are greedy. You don't see me complaining.
Sucking a dime up from a child?
Look, you didn't hear what I said, did you? I said, when someone says that $1,200 per person for a family of 5, and the kid gets $1,200, but dad gets control of the money, I say $1,200 flat outright for the family. Unless the family is severely struggling and can prove that they are literally in the frickin' red, stimulus checks shouldn't be granted to anyone who just wants it because they want to go and spend it on useless junk. Literally. That's why the Senate doesn't want to cough up any more freaking money. They're turning around. They're looking at the numbers. 30% spent their money on food, bills. 70% flooded the market so much the warehouses are empty. Nintendo claims they can get back on in August or September, but that's if China opens. Right now, with the president duking it out with China, who knows when we're going to be getting Switches or laptops or desktops or webcams, or all the items that sold out. Literally. You look at the American people, what's happening? Yeah, the American people are suffering to no freaking end. And yet, these people are saying the coronavirus doesn't determine politics. It does. When the American people are suffering and you guys are going hungry, or you guys are losing your home, or you guys are being evicted because you can't pay the bill, those are the people that need it the most. All these other people that sit there and say, oh, well, you know, I'm on SSI, every $1,200 we need is a blessing. Really. I've seen so many people on SSI, disability insurance. I know several people that have followed my recommendations, bought food, stockpiled water, stockpiled what it needed to survive. I've seen other people on SSI, ssdi, survivors, retirement, railroad veterans, spend it foolish and be like, oh yeah, the government's gonna bail us out with a check every month. I don't have to worry. Choo choo choo. Oh yeah, I bought this month. Oh yeah, but then when they see the government not coughing up, that's when these people need to have government step in, give them a pay and say, look, it's not our job to bail you out, and you keep spending money. We are in a pandemic. No one knows when it'll end. Yes, monthly checks would be nice, but it's a pipe dream. Yes, Chloe? Monthly checks is a pipe dream. My point is, we need to basically stick together as a unit and think before we freaking act. We don't need to sit around and say, well, if they don't give us extended unemployment benefits, then I'm voting them out. Guess what? They don't care. They want you to go back to work, and they want liability insurance. So if you die or get sick while working, their buddies and everyone else is protected, while your family can't sue because your company forced you to go back to work. I mean, look, let me ask you this. When a company goes back to work, they need to have guidelines. They have to have guidelines set up from the state level, the federal level, to work together so they can make everyone safe going back to work. I mean, literally, some people say, oh, well, you know, I'm a bus driver. You know, if you're a bus driver, you drive for Greyhound. Every stop, have the bus driver take 15 to 30 minutes besides cleaning the bus or a team to clean the bus. Temperature control on every stop. And, you know, they can do it with Amtrak, you know, and do that, you know. I mean, literally, what more does a person need besides temperature control? Simple. There's too many people out there that want their check so bad. They're like, oh yeah, I'm on disability. I bring in $8.99. I need more money. You can't make $8.99 last. Like with me, I've lived on less than that, and I've survived 20 plus years. I mean, literally. And yet you guys want to sit there and say, oh, well, I've lived on my income of $1,300 for 4 freaking years for 2 people. I made it work. So if you guys want to sit there and say, oh, yeah, well, you know, we need an extra money because we're entitled. You're not entitled to diddly, snatch, crap, pooper, nothing. You aren't entitled to nothing. The government gives it to you. It's a blessing. Right now, the government is duking it out. Senate and Democrats are going to duke it out until August 7th when they don't cut a check. They're going to say unemployment numbers went down, yada, yada, yada. Now, I'll tell you another thing. Flat out right for political reasons, okay? This is going to be hurtful to all of you because you all mean a lot to me. So if I upset all of you, it's because the American people need to hear this. It's about time I tell you what I think. The Democratic Party is using this coronavirus to upset and control the country. Sorry to say it, but look at it this way. Blue state like California shuts down. Red state like Florida is trying to figure out what to do. Simple, shut it down. Blue state turns around and says, well, we're a blue state. We got to shut down California. I know moderator Pee-wee's probably watching this later. She might even post a comment like I'm wrong. I encourage you all to call me out. But the blue states will shut down. If the virus spikes, they will shut down every state. And when they do, they will issue people to apply for extended food stamps, Medicaid or Medi-Cal, and cash assistance, emergency cash assistance. Oh, and did I mention they will also encourage unemployment benefits. So let's look at it that way. Unemployment benefits gets extended. That's fine. But if they don't, you see what the Democrats are doing? The Democrats just shut down the entire state of California, basically, again. They're doing this as a political stunt. Shut down California, one of the biggest areas in the country. Then what? Then what? California suffered. Then the states get blamed for it. The states get blamed for it. See, the president doesn't want to play footsies. But if the states shut down and then they go and say, we need stimulus money because our state's in the red because we're taking care of all these people, the president's made it clear the states should be paying the bill. The reason for it is because the states are allowing, they opened up too early, they did this. Dr. Fauci has stated, okay, president shouldn't attack Dr. Fauci. Problem is people were warned. Now, you had red states doing it, green states, oh, well, we're not going to shut down the government again. The economy will tank. Guess what? You can't control this virus, all right? This virus mutates. This virus is hard-hitting. American people are suffering. Everyone is freaking suffering. And I'm watching the country go down the toilet. One state shut down. I heard Georgia basically did it. California, it's like phase 1 again. But Florida goes to phase 1, and they start ordering the Army National Guard to contain this. Then the government will realize that they got to do something for the people. They're not. Well, it's not expired.
When does it expire?
2021. See in the back?
That's a year almost.
Yeah.
Almost a year.
2 cans for the price of 1. You can go get it at Chris's.
Yeah.
My point is the American people are sitting there. And the American people are suffering. And yet, when they decide to close down more and more, why isn't Washington doing it? Because the government's basically worried. I mean, they have this whole Western Pact thing, right, where Governor Inslee is the one in charge, right? And he doesn't want to shut down. I mean, literally. Yep. Florida needs to shut down. Completely needs to basically issue an order to shut down. You see, if the states start shutting down again, we might be able to contain this. I mean, look. You want a second check? Everyone, you want $2,000 a month? Here's what you do. You make the states shut down. States that don't shut down thinking their virus numbers are down. It's because, well, no one wants to go to some states. That's why they're opening up. Certain states are better than others. Some of these states are not populated areas. No one wants to go to farm country America. So, the rest of the country's heavily populated areas. So you want money, you want more stimulus checks, then you better ask the government to shut down. Otherwise, you ain't going to see jack diddly poopy. Literally. They're going to basically go home on the 8th. I mean, you're going to see the American people get screwed over, right? It'll be 40,000 or under. And then the Republicans are going to be like, here's our bill. Pass it. Democrats are going to say, here's our bill. You didn't look at it or debate it. They're going to go back and forth for 15 days. By then, they're going to go back to work after September. Again, nothing's going to get done because everyone is duking it out for the Senate and the House. And who's going to be suffering the most? The Americans who are collateral damage. That's it. You want a check? You want a second stimulus update? I will get you a new one, but think of it. Right now, it's maybe people on ssdi. It's not confirmed. It's not confirmed. It's not approved. You want money, you're going to have to do your own news updates. Do your own checking and fact checking. Because I'll guarantee you, every one of these frickin' clickbait mother effers on YouTube are basically having you click so they can make money off you. Every video you click, you get money made from them. They make money off you. It's not vice versa. Think about it. That said, everyone, please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestion. Hit the like, subscribe button. So it's funny for your family, including your dogs, cats, and bunnies. Service dogs. Hit the bell notification for new content every day. Look for updated information as I go. And remember, again, it is a maybe. It's not concrete. Until you guys wake up and smell what you're shoveling, assume you're not going to get a penny until it's on paper and signed by the president. Thank you, and God bless you all.